Hey, what's up, everybody? We're finally back. I'm back in town, so we're good to go. This isn't actually the gameplay I wanted to put up. I wanted to put up either a Falcon T92 game on Himmelsdorf or an RU game on Tundra to give you a little bit of variety for maps that aren't deemed the best for light tanks, I guess. But instead, we're gonna play on Erlenberg Blizzard, which is just, so horrible. The sarcasm there is very high. Yeah. So, instead of having some of the quote-unquote worst maps for light tanks, we're gonna play on one of one of my favorites, because I can abuse the crap out of the weather mechanic with this crew. And scouts in general, because of the camo and view range. You can really do well on these weather variants. So yeah, so initially we try to move up, get the spots. Again, we're the view range on this encounter basically, and we're trying to get some damage, which we do actually manage to pen the IS-4 frontally with some heat rounds, and we're getting a shot into the machine as well. There's only 2 tanks we've lit up so far on this side. We're kind of falling back because the machine is kind of pushing up, so I don't want to get spotted if I can. Avoid it. It's always good to stay undetected if I can. So, yeah. Again, we're in this kind of a matchup in the RU. We're the only light tank on our team, and there's only 1 light tank on their team, which is very nice for this. It just means the vision is much more in my control. They do have 4 medium tanks as well, but we're the only light tank. And you see, again, just target opportunity that we're looking at here. Always being aware, you have the Batchat AP. Could have fired HEP the entire time. Kind of a waste of a shot, that last one. We get lit up by I think that was the tier 9 Italian medium pushing. I'm totally blanking on the name of it right now. Nobody needs to correct me. But, yeah. So right now we're just trying to do the initial spots. Here on the other flank, we're just not really needed because our IS-7 has gone full man mode and has pushed down into the dip. It's not a horrible play, but the only issue with that is he has 0 support. Absolutely none. So right now the play I'm making is kind of risky, that we're pushing up like this as well. It is decent to get some spotting on what I know there's going to be a good amount of tanks probably up on their hill like usual. How this map usually plays out in that regard is there's lots of tanks up on that hill to the left of where the IS-7 is. I apparently could not drive this game, so that's fun. But we're actually going to fall back a little bit, and since the IS-7's already pushed up, there's no really need for me to push up as well, especially with there's only 2 of us really on this side. So I'm going to go further back and actually act as, I don't want to say a TD, but do my best to try to support this guy and dish some damage out. Hopefully get this light tank off him, because he's just kind of annoying him at this point. And we were able to slam our last HES shell into, or the HEP, whatever, who cares, into the Batchat 12T. Again, if we had had another one, it would have been nice, because we could have probably 2-shot the Batchat 12T there. We do get spotted by him pushing that far, though. So we back off and hopefully just get out of render range. We're still detected, or 6th sense, but they're all focused on the IS-7, who gets taken out of the Death Star. More information for us, we know one of their 2 TDs is sitting up on that hill, more than likely. Again, not surprising, that play at all. But, yeah, we were able to get some decent damage off before they took out the IS-7, and they're now pushing up, so I'm going to fall back and get out of here, because, again, the only real support we have is there's the Artie, and there's actually a TD looking this way as well. So we can still spot a little bit, but it's probably best just to back off and take our losses. And just cut our losses, not take our losses, Jesus. And, yeah. I don't think that situation is beneficial to us to just kind of sit there. I'd rather keep moving, trying to exploit a weakness. The middle is not going to be it, because they have their mouse just sitting on 300 That's 300. Jesus, 3,000 hit points just sat there, blocking the middle road. That's not going to be the way forward. We get spotted again. I know the TDs are up on the hill. I kind of back off and hopefully get undetected. And there we go. So we run away. And now I really want to start looking at that left flank. There's really not much on that side at this point. I know there's the Death Star. I know our mouse is pushed up. And I know we also have the other heavy there as well. So I'm going to try to give them some vision. And hopefully spot up whatever was on the hill there. I believe that was a 4005. So we have two 183 type guns to worry about. That can take away a lot of hit points very, very quickly. But surprise spot, actually. I thought they probably would have maybe spotted this corner, maybe not. But we actually spot up the arty, and we get away just enough. That 250, 240 meter mark is about the sweet spot for this crew on these weather variants. I try to keep that distance. I don't want to say that's a good distance to keep in mind for everybody, because this crew on this is kind of like the L2TB crew. It's got about 15 perks, so take that into mind. If you have a crew like that, yeah, 15. I like to generally just stay at 250 meters away. It's generally the sweet spot. They're not going to spot you majority of the time on these weather variants. It's what works for me usually. And we're able to slam a couple shells into the 4005 and leave him on basically life support at this point. And our mouse is still pushing, which I don't know about. And we try to take out the 4005, but miraculously we hit the track of him somehow. And yeah, find a way. And now we have our next 183 variant popping up. And somehow, and for some reason at this point I was kind of tunnel visioning that their light tank has just popped up behind me. Again, I'm not really sure on his situation, but I guess he just ran down the middle and didn't get spotted, so he pops up. We still put a shot into him, and he puts one shot in us, so really not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. We put him on one shot, and he took barely 160 hit points away from us, a little over that. So, not bad. At this point, the Death Star is kind of YOLOing our mouse, and yeah, it just annihilates him. I would like to go after the Death Star, and I would, but I don't know where the mediums are at. I know the Progetto is around here somewhere-ish, and there's still a Batchet AP, who we don't really know where he's at. So, rather than risk it, we're going to back off back to where our team is, and just kind of cut our losses again, and see if we can't spot them and put them at re-range again. We get lucky here. Not lucky, but just repositioning and putting ourselves in situation to light targets up, basically. So we spot the 705A crossing at this point, and it's good for us because, again, at this kind of re-range, he's not going to spot us, and we also get a little bit of assistance on him. And we do have his flank, which is nice. Hopefully, I would have liked to track him at this point, but fortunately for us, we actually get two shots in that second one. It was kind of lucky that it penned, but it's all good. I kind of like this variant because you can use the riverbed fairly well, especially in light tanks and just tanks with high mobility. You can get along a lot faster, and there's not the choke points that there is semi on regular Erlenberg, so it's easier to move about the map more freely, basically. At this point, I'm trying to basically feather a shot into 705A. It's not quite working out, and I do spot the Progetto kind of moving down, so I'm going to distance myself and hopefully not get spotted. But on the way out, we do get that shot we're looking for in 75A and take him down. We're running a little low on ammo at this point. I only have one APCR left and 10 heat, which the heat rounds have a little bit slower velocity, if I remember correctly. And it's not the best at fighting a medium tank. I'd rather fire APCR at a medium just because I'm usually RBRTing on a medium, because dogfights, depending. But, yeah. But we know where he's at. I have a rough idea of where I thought the Death Star would be at. He would just still be up on the hill, kind of sniping, but that's not the case. I don't believe. But we're gonna go back to our other spot. I know the Progetto is in the middle, at least that's its last known position was. And I feel like I can still run away and outspot him even if we do light him up and he's in a different position basically at this point in the game. It do have to be relevant that I can get either one shot or clipped out by either their 2 tanks left. And that basically if I die, I'm not going to say we lose the game, but if the Progetto played well and if I died somehow, it'd be very hard for RTDs to kind of win based off of view range. But luckily for us, we spot the Progetto running away. It looks like he kind of moved positioning, but you see what I mean about the heat rounds there. They're a little slow on velocity, so we have to lead them a little bit more. At this point, I was still wondering where the Death Star was. I honestly thought he'd be behind the Progetto. That would make more sense. You know, the TED sniping for the medium, and the medium providing the view range. But it doesn't look like that's the case. Looks like I guess both of them have pushed up this flank. But now the Progetto's kind of stopped and just sat in one position. He knows I'm behind him. Obviously, I shot him. So I'm being very cautious here. I'm trying to get spots on either of them, but I don't want to just rush down there and get annihilated by either tanks, or to get lit up and then get nuked by the Death Star. Again, just trying to get vision, and there we go. We get vision on the Progetto, and we see the Death Star just fired and one-shotted our Waffle 4. So now that gives me an opportunity to move in. I know the Death Star just fired, but by the time I get there, he'll probably be reloaded. And yeah. But I feel like I'm not going to get spotted by the Death Star, and I can also outmaneuver him fairly well. And so we're going to slam as many of these shots that we have left into him, and just rack up that last bit of damage, hopefully. But he does take out our arty, and hopefully we can finish him off, and we do, and finish the game with just under 3,000 assisted and just under 6,000 damage. Again, when this map showed up on rotation and I was in this tank, it's one of those situations where, you know, you should have a good game. The expectation for myself, personally myself, is to have a really good game. And it's not always the case, and it's kind of frustrating when it's not the case. But this time we were, and we were able to take the game, yeah, with a good win and a really good result. So, again, not the video I wanted to put up today, but still a good game. Still a good showcase of how to kind of attack these type of maps, I guess. And, yeah, hopefully I will catch you next time, and I'll hopefully work on those intros at some point. See ya.